Greetings, beloveds. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how you can use primary trend lines for breakout timing if you play the traditional swing trade of owning stocks for weeks and months after they break out. But first, I greet you in the love light of the one infinite creator. So we have an example here of a stock that had an all-time high right here in end of 2006. And I want to focus in this video in this breakout right here. This is in 2021. So we're talking about 14 years later. So 14 years later, and how you could have used the prior all-time highs to understand the power of the trend line. And the trend line is this blue line right here. But first, let's take a quick look here. We can take a look at previous examples where we have a high, all-time high here in 2004. And you have multiple breakouts from a trend line perspective. So trend line breakout here, trend line breakout there, trend line breakout here based on the prior all-time highs. This is the key. The key is you have to be looking for trend lines that are moving to and touching previous all-time highs. And I'm using the close as the beginning of the trend line. Now, I'll have a playlist in the description of this video that goes more into detail about this, what I call a primary trend line breakout. And just for the sake of illustration, we can also see here coming into the beginning of 2009, there's a trend line breakout here. This was an important breakout right here. Why? Or a change in direction, because it connects to the prior all-time highs. And even in this example, we have multiple trend lines that give us good quality swing trades, some of them more successful than others. But you can see this is a very useful technique in timing, especially if you're looking for situations where a stock is about to change its direction. So primary trend lines, very important, where they connect to previous all-time highs. So let's take a look at this example here. Take the price on a monthly closing high, all-time high there in late 06, early 07, and connect it to these highs. And there's a monthly closing high right there. You get this trend line. And of course, there's this price breakout, which means that something has changed. Remember, it took almost 14 years for this to play out, this trend line here. And so once you see that something has come into the market, pushing it above the trend line, this is an area of interest. So you get the opportunity of owning the stocks here for a good about 160% gain in about 11 months. So not a bad gain. Now you can also extend this to the indicators. So if you take a look, this here is the highest RSI level. You connect the highs here. You get also a trend line breakout on the RSI, confirming the price breakout here. Now that's the RSI. You can do the same thing with the MACDs. I have 3 MACDs here, and you can see all of them are breaking out about this trend line that was connecting the prior highs. So all of these were prior highs, and then you see a breakout, very actionable breakout there. That tells you something has changed, and it's worth taking a look. And even here, something has changed because we're moving above the trend line. Something has changed here on the MACD because we are moving above a trend line. Also, you might note here in these last 2 indicators here, we have the performance against the S&P 500. So even compared to the S&P 500, there's a trend line breakout here, connecting it to the prior all-time high of this indicator. So you see, relative to the market, it breaks out here. That's also actionable information that that period was a good entry period. And of course, you can see here the on-balance volume, the OBV, it moves to all-time highs in that period. All that was confirming, or the indicators were confirming that the price breakout should have given a quality move. And this is why you have this nice price explosion if you take this initial move right there. That took about 14 months, took about 11 months to gain that 160+% gain, give or take. Now remember, this is one of many methods. So there's also, if you go back to the ultimate more the breakout, you can see that you still would have had an opportunity of owning this breakout here, because as price was clearing this area, so you can go back to the ultimate more the breakout, which is my own method that I've used over 20 years plus and taught the method. So you can see that the RSI here moves to 3-year highs and also above 69.1. This is in beginning of 2001 there. And take a look at the MACDs. Remember, we need only one of the MACD to be moving to 3-year highs. And you can see that the MACDs were moving to multi-year highs at that time. So the MACDs also met the minimum requirements for the ultimate Muade breaker. Just want to illustrate that there's more than one way to know that a stock is about to explode in price. And the ultimate Muade breakout could also have brought you or made you aware that this was an area that could lead to an explosive swing trade price breakout trade. But for this video, whenever you see a primary trend line which is being used by the market and you see a breakout, and that primary trend line of course should be connecting to the prior all-time highs, take note, because that could be the beginning of a change that could lead to a spike in prices. I am eric.mother.com. I leave you as I found you, in the love light of the one infinite creator. Go forth rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one creator. Adonai.